Alright, so I'm going to be talking about the Millennium Development Goal number 6 in Cambodia, which covers combating diseases. And so here I have a map that's going to help me out a lot. So disease is a big issue in Cambodia all throughout, even in the big cities. But in the past 20 years, it's gone down drastically. And it's kind of leveled out right now, so it's not getting any better or any worse. So some diseases that are specific to Cambodia are dengue, intestinal worms, diarrhea, fungal infections, malaria, and typhoid. I know a little bit about dengue and malaria. I know they're both transmitted by mosquitoes, and so and these are most active during the day and are found mainly in urban areas. I know for dengue there's no vaccine, so the best way to avoid this is just using mosquito repellent. And for intestinal parasites, those are most common in rural Cambodia. But you can get them by eating undercooked foods, and some even enter just through your skin. So this country really struggles to get rid of these diseases because of the lack of effective medical facilities and sanitation. So throughout all of Cambodia, here you can see the borders of Cambodia. There's about 4 or 5 really decent, effective hospitals that are spread throughout. The main and probably the best is found in Phnom Penh, which is the capital. So Cambodia is aware of this issue as well, that they don't have many good and effective hospitals, and they're trying to build more, and they're still trying to spread them out so people don't have to travel as far. All right, let's take a look at the capital real quick here in Phnom Penh, and I'll talk a little about that. All right, here we can kind of see if we can get a little bit further. Alright, so you can see there's a lot of white. Those are all buildings. This is a city. This is the main city. So you have a lot of people living together, compact houses. And as you can see, as you start to leave the city, it starts to get more green. You can see as you start going further out, it gets a lot poorer. It almost immediately as you leave the city, it gets really poor, and it's just homes spread out and farmlands, just a lot of farmlands. And so you can imagine, like, if you live here in Phnom Penh, if you need to go to the hospital, it's really close. And if you live there, you probably have a good job and have money and can pay for travel expenses to go back and forth to a clinic or a hospital. But as you live further out, jobs are definitely a lot more scarce and harder, and the wages aren't as high. And so traveling to a hospital is really difficult for them. And so it's also not convenient that you have to travel a lot further, but here they're a lot closer. Also here in Phnom Penh, the hospital is a lot nicer, a lot more effective, and the other hospitals that they're making aren't as good. They do have clinics, though. They do have a lot of clinics that are found everywhere, all throughout Cambodia, a lot more clinics and hospitals, but in my studies, they were described as primitive, and they're usually hit or miss, and they're just not as good as a hospital. So what they can do, this is kind of a hard situation as you go further out, what the poor people can do that live out here. Prevention for them is hard, like watching what they eat and making sure it's sanitary, because a lot of them don't have any other choice. Many of them don't have the choice to drink purified water, They just have the water that's there. Sanitation can be helped to some degree, um, but it's still what you have is what you have, you know. And it's still hard because as you leave further from the city, it gets more dirty and dustier, so it's hard for them to truly sanitize everything. But